Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, which is pretty much everybody, I have just gotten like 100 new subscribers in the past couple days. It has been so phenomenal. I'm so excited that people are interested in our journey and are here to share their information. And I am just so grateful for each and every one of you who is sitting down and watching this video. It's a dream for me to not only start a flower business, but start my own business in general and to start a YouTube channel. So here we are. Thank you so much. In this video today, I really wanted to talk about the lessons that I learned this year. I wanted to do that for two reasons. First, I really do enjoy watching these types of videos, and so I wanted to share some of my own perspective and my own experience to other new growers and other flower farmers out there. The second reason is that some of the things that I experienced in this first year weren't being talked about on other flower farmers channels who make similar videos to this. So I've seen top 10 mistakes or top 10 lessons learned as a first year, second year, third year flower farmer. And there's a whole bunch of things that were covered, but some of the things, especially when it comes to a business aspect, weren't being mentioned. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of those things that I experienced, but then again, other things, just general experiences that I had as a first year farmer. So if that's something that's interesting to you, stick around and I'll tell you my top 15 lessons that I learned this year as a first year flower farmer. My name is Tamara and I am going into my second year flower farming. I'm in southern Wisconsin, zone 5A. And last year we had about 7 70-foot rows, and this year we are tripling that to about 20 to 26 70-foot rows. And that's about a quarter acre when you do all the math. So we're really expanding our business this year, taking a lot of what we learned last year and hopefully applying it this year, but we do anticipate to be learning for quite a few years, but it's really exciting. And yeah, let's get into the video. Number one is time. I recommend that you double or even triple the amount of time that you think it's going to take to complete a specific task. When you're new and you have no idea what you're doing and you have no efficiencies in place, it takes a lot longer than you think. You might think that, you know, filling up your water buckets and bringing them down the hill is only going to take 10 minutes. And then you realize there's a hole in the hose, or your buckets are dirty, or there's cracks in them and you have to go down to the grocery store and quickly ask the floral department for more buckets and then come home and wash them. It takes much longer. Every single task, even the ones that you think are super small, insignificant, that will take, you know, just, they'll be done lickety split. I suggest, this was the biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes I made. I suggest doubling, or like I said, even tripling that amount of time so that you can go through your process and do the things that you need to do, knowing that you have plenty of time. Number two, tilling your yard is going to generate more labor. It may just look like grass when you go out there and till it, but you are waking hundreds of thousands of weed seeds. So you need to be prepared for that part of tilling. You also have to be prepared for pathogens that may lay underneath the soil. And when you disturb that soil, you might wake up those pathogens. And then there is the issue of the possibility of disease. And then with disease, there's also pests who will take advantage of those flowers that are struggling. So be prepared. If you plan to till, there are some things that are just probably going to happen, especially weeds. So be prepared for the labor that's associated beyond just tilling your yard, and be prepared to do a lot more work that has to do with that. 3, try new things that work for you. I know it's very easy to get caught up in the comparison game and to be looking at other people's gardens and to be wanting to do everything exactly like they do. But the reality is, a lot of times when we see people's flower farms and they look so beautiful and so immaculate and well taken care of, they're at a point where they can hire employees. They have people who are designated to do certain tasks around the farm, and they've become super efficient in what they do. They've been doing it for probably, 5, 10, 15, 25 years. So do what you can with what you've got. It is okay to flex what you see on the internet and make it work for you. What you see on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, anything online especially. Use it to your advantage and make it work for you, but certainly don't compare yourself and feel bad about your garden or your plants. Just try new things and make them work in the context of your region, your home, your style, your interests, your everything. Just make it fit for you. Number 4, the internet lies. all the 1020 trays and all the cell plug trays that you see out in the world do not fit each other. They are not universal products. And that is one of the biggest mistakes. Well, I shouldn't say the biggest, it's one of the most expensive mistakes. It is the most expensive mistake that I made last year. I went on Amazon, I ordered a bunch of different cell trays. I picked the cheapest one here and the cheapest one there. And when I got them all, I ordered them in November. I didn't open them until January. And by that time it was too late to return anything. And that's when I realized that nothing fit right. I had such a hard time. It affected my watering. It affected just my time. It took so much time. I had to run things underwater and be moving things and transporting things because I couldn't bottom water any of my plants. Cell trays were this tall and the 1020 trays were super deep, and it was just like an absolute nightmare. So be careful. Be careful if you order online. My suggestion is either order from your local garden center, and then you can really have physical, you can see whether or not these products fit together and how they fit together and if you like the way they fit together, or order from a reputable source. I am going to be ordering a whole new batch from Bootstrap Farmer, and they have a really high durability and they should have a really long life. I should be able to use them for a really, really long time. So I know that they're all going to fit together. They're all from the same company. Johnny's Selected Seed also does sell some cell trays, and all of those fit together. And each description tells you this will fit with a shallow tray, this will fit with a 1020 standard. But look for that information. Do not buy the cheapest things online and assume that they all fit together, because they probably will not. 5, be innovative when you can and DIY when you can. It doesn't matter, especially if you're just starting out, especially if you're small. Save that money for the things that matter. My husband did an amazing job building our flower stand. We built it for $25, and really that was just the piece of tin that went on top. It's corrugated tin roofing, and we just cut it to size. That was $25, but the rest of it we sourced for free, wood that we had around the house, and then a pallet that we broke down and then reconfigured to make our stand. The flower buckets were free from the grocery store, and we did actually pay for the little money slot box that's there as well, and I think that was maybe a little bit more expensive, $30. But be mindful of the way you're spending your money, and if you are keeping track of your money, then you should be compelled to try to be as thrifty as you can and as innovative as you can, especially in these first couple years. We don't need our gardens to look super, super amazing. We don't need all the super fancy equipment and those types of things. Do what you can with what you've got. It's so much better to give a quality product and show yourself than to have something that's fancy that you hide behind. Anyways, I'll talk more about that in just a second, but that is number 5, is to be innovative and build it and DIY it if you can. Number 6, all right, you can run your farm however you want, but my advice is do not take a vacation for a week at the end of August. We planned a vacation a year before we started this adventure, and it was late August, and it was a week, and when we came back everything was dead. I mean, everything. We didn't plan for anyone to come and water the garden. We didn't have anyone come and deadhead anything. We didn't have anyone come and harvest the flowers regularly. And once your plants set seed, that is kind of it. They're thinking, we've done our job, we've set our seed, it's going out into the world and multiplying, like, I'm gonna die now. And that's exactly what our plants did. So it was kind of a tough lesson. There were a few things that were still like churning things out, like zinnias, but all of the other things, they kind of just fizzled away slowly, one by one. But yeah, don't take a vacation in the middle of summer. Number 7, this is a big one, but if you can, try to remain optimistic and do not quit. Some things they're just not as bad as they seem in the moment. And sometimes it's really hard for us, we're like, we made a mistake or we did something that's super embarrassing. It's like, it's over. The business is over. Like, just just die, you know, like, but no, keep going. It's okay. Pick yourself up, gather yourself. If you need to take a weekend off or a couple days off, or if you just need to like bury your head in the sand just for a little bit, that's okay. But then get back up and come back to it, because we're all going to make mistakes. It's really the only way to learn. There's that saying that says it's 5% theory and 95% experience. You're gonna have to experience it all, the good stuff and the bad stuff, the hard stuff and the stuff that makes you like kind of like cringe and say, oh my gosh, did that just happen? But stick with it. I believe in you and your business, and I believe in me and my business. And so I know that I've done some really stupid things and said some stupid things, and it's just like, and the internet like will keep it forever and ever and ever. So you just have to kind of pull yourself back up and say, I'm gonna keep going. Number 8, separate your personal finances and your business finances. Even if you're small, even if you've just started out, even if you make a couple hundred or even a couple $1,000s, keep all of your farm expenses and your farm income separate from your personal stuff. It's just gonna make your life so much easier. It's gonna make tax season so much easier. And it's just probably a good idea to keep those two separate. I've done a couple other videos talking about budgeting and money and finances in terms of starting a business and growing a business, and I'll try to link them below if I can. I'm not a professional and I am not a financier, but yeah, it's probably a good idea to do. Number 9. This one has always been a hard one for me, like my whole life, pretty much, and that is staying consistent. If you're gonna show your face on social media, be consistent. If you're going to use a watering system, be consistent. If you're going to have a harvest day, try to be consistent. And if you are going to open a flower stand, be consistent. One thing, the flower stand, that I was really terribly inconsistent with, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do Thursdays and Fridays, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a pop-up Saturday, but then it was like every Saturday, and then it was all over the board, and I don't think people really had an idea of when they could come and purchase a bouquet and it would be there. So having consistency across all things in the long run is always going to produce a better result. I think, in my experience, it's always just going to produce a better result if you're consistent. Then people know what to expect, when to expect it, how to expect it, and I think it's easier to schedule your days and your weeks when you know where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. So that's something I'm really going to try to work on in 2023, is trying to stay consistent. Number 10, timing your seedling and germination and timing when it goes out into the field. I had everything backwards last year. I was putting my cool flowers out after the first frost. I had stuff that wasn't really frost hardy out early, like basil and zinnia and celosia, and they were very mad at me and they got stunted, and it really slowed down their growth and production right from the get-go. So that was a little bit frustrating and something that I had to learn the hard way. But if you can, the book Cool Flowers by Lisa Mason Ziegler is incredibly helpful. Florette does have a blog where you can just type in cool flowers and there's a lot of information there. But yeah, just do your homework and figure out if you're growing cool flowers and then you're growing heat-loving flowers, make sure you have those dates right, because it can really stall out your plants before the season has even started. Number 11, variety and succession planting. Just because it will produce all year doesn't mean you should use it all year. I made this mistake last year with my zinnias. I was like, zinnias are gonna go all year, and guess what they did? But at a certain point, people get sick of looking at the same bouquets. They get sick of looking at the same Queen Lime Series bouquet that you had last week and the week before that, just mixed with different greens. Don't do that. If you can flip a bed, try to do that. That's what I'm gonna try to do this year. If you can till up some more space in your yard or in your farm, go ahead and do that, and maybe stagger what comes out. Think about your color palettes. You're gonna want those bright colors in the summer. You're gonna wanna have moodier stuff in the fall. And then some of your spring flowering things, of course, think of that soft palette. Maybe have wedding stuff available, whites and blushes and creams all year around. That's something that I really didn't think out. So that is number 11, is give your customers what they want, give them variety, surprise them, but don't use the same flower throughout the whole season just because it's there. Number 12, this is a big one, especially if you are trying to grow a business, and that is take pictures and videos of your stuff. I did a couple weddings last year and I pretty much have 0 photos. I have what the bride gave me from their professional photographers, but I wouldn't always rely on that because you might not have that kind of access to those photos, or you might not have access without paying for them. And a lot of times those are edited as well. So take your own photos. I was so tired by the end of these events and I was just like, oh, get everything in the car, drive it to the venue, drop it off, come home and go to sleep. Like, that is how I felt. I was so exhausted. So take pictures and take videos, especially if you're planning on doing a website or if you want to build your Instagram and you need content for reels and posts. You need to have pictures of these things. So that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I wish I could have given myself as a first-year flower farmer, is take those pictures. Otherwise, come winter, when you're building your website, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot when you realize you have no footage of the things that you're wanting to offer on your website. Number 13, do not wait for perfection. Do not wait for the perfect weather. Do not wait for the perfect business name. Don't wait for the perfect knowledge. Just do it. Just jump in. The only way that we gain knowledge is through experience, and you just have to do it. Don't wait till everything is perfect. I know that is really, really, really difficult if you're somebody who likes things to be just so before you put them out into the world and have everybody else experience them. But I really do feel like for me, that was something that really helped grow my Instagram account. It's helping grow my YouTube account, is just going for it. Just do it. Number 14, clean up after yourself. Oh my gosh. I heard someone once say, most people, when it comes to cleaning, are either 30 seconds or 10 steps away from finishing a task. And I wish I would have remembered that advice. We have left tools all over the yard. Our irrigation system is still out, like getting snowed on and probably chewed through by rodents. A lot of our seed starting stuff is still down by the farm when we were planting stuff in the field last year. I know we get tired, the days get super, super long, but if you can, bring all of your stuff back up. Wash all of that stuff before you put it away. Put stuff back where it belongs. It's so much easier to find it when you need it. You won't spend so much time hunting for things or cleaning off things that are now super dirty because you've let them sit out in the rain for 2 months. You know, try as best as you can to clean up after yourself. That is like probably the number one thing that I will try to work on and get right this year, is just following through, taking that extra 30 seconds to put something away, taking that extra 10 steps to put something in the right location. That is a big one for me and probably one of my biggest focuses as we go into this second growing season. Number 15, show your face. Not only is it beautiful, but it is also your brand. If you are going to be part of the Slow Flowers, local, organic, sustainable, whatever the case may be for you, if you are going to push that local theme, you're gonna have to show your face. People want to know, and people love to know who is behind the thing that they're purchasing. That's what makes it special, right? Because if they don't know, then they might as well just get it from the store, right? Because they don't know those people either. So this one is a tough one. It's hard to put your face on something. And for me, I'm gonna be completely honest, I am not the profile that most people think of when they think of farmer, right? And a lot of times I think, for me, especially in southern Wisconsin, the 2 top things that come to my mind when I think of farmer is male and I think generational. And I'm not either of those things. And I was very, very scared to put my face out there. Hi, I'm a new grower. I don't know what I'm doing. The reality of it is that people actually wanted to have a conversation with me, and they wanted to see the backyard. They wanted to see where the flowers were grown. They wanted to thank me for giving them something beautiful to put on their table or give to a friend or give to a teacher or give to their child for graduation. They wanted to know who I was. And it didn't matter to them so much whether or not I fit the profile of a farmer. They wanted to make sure I fit the profile of someone who was their friend and someone who was kind and someone who wanted to make something beautiful for them. If you can, and do it bit by bit, whatever you feel comfortable with, but make sure you're starting to show yourself, show who you are, show what you're about, because people are more invested in you. And once they become invested in you, I feel like that's when your business can really take off, right? And when I started showing my face on Instagram and showing the process of what I was doing and started to talk to my neighbors and people who were stopping by the flower stand, those people came back and they supported my business because they wanted to support me. So anyways, those are the top 15 lessons that I learned as a first-year flower in 2022. I hope some of these things were helpful, and that if you're a new grower or thinking about growing, you take some of these into account and maybe apply them to the way that you plan on running your business. So anyways, thanks for hanging out and for sticking around, and we will see you in the next video. We are going to be cleaning up the basement and starting some seeds. That'll probably be a vlog in a couple days. So we'll see you soon. Bye.